Man, what's up, family, man? I want to get in here, talk live on some of these issues that's been going down. I'm going to have the homie Gino join me in a minute, but I just want to get into some things. I want to talk about this little funky dog that many people call their damn president. Little sucker Trump, fool can't shake the fact that no one in this country like him, not even his own party. As many of the folks within the Republican Party have finally come to terms that the jig is up and that they can no longer go down that road of, kind of setting themselves up for this political failure as they fall in line with this fool Trump, only to find out that this dude is a sellout to any foreign leader that this fool can find to lay in bed with. As you can see in this picture, this is how he goes to sleep over at that damn White House. But it's really come up, man. And what happens is with this whistleblower case, man, thank God for this whistleblower, which in my mind happens to be Melania Trump. And that's what's going to come out. That's why they can't find out who he is. And that's why he wants to meet the person, because he hasn't met her. Because Melania Trump doesn't sleep with people that look like Trump. She probably wants somebody as complected as me. But I think that's where it comes from. But this fool has gone about trying to do investigations on political rivals who happen to be Americans. How patriotic of a clown like this. And also in this tweet, so this dude is going into some real desperate moments. So this is a tweet on his, off his Twitter and also on his Instagram page. This is a president posting shit like this. Shit to lead into escalating some type of conflict, and he thinks that people are going to stand by him and go to war for him. A damn draft dodging punk, a fool's been afraid to go to conflict. And this is kind of the common thing amongst these, divisionists or warmongering type leaders throughout history, whether that be a Mussolini, a Stalin, a Hitler. All these fools rile up the rest of society. They use a lot of this rhetoric, when society is down and depressed and people kind of feel isolated, marginalized. You know how the silent majority that he speaks of, this is the same thing that went over in 1930s Europe when they're coming out of their depressions and all this. This is why history is so important to keep following, because the shit repeats itself. And this is what Trump is doing. He's pulling over the same maneuvers that were used over there. And it all came crashing and burning for every single one of those leaders who use this type of tactic on society. And here's this fool spewing up war when he's a dude who's been constant, has avoided conflict all his life. I doubt if Trump ever been in a fight, but he's dodged war when his country was at conflict. War we shouldn't went to, but still, this fool's dodged it. But his thing is to be in this position of commander in chief and wanting to go into escalating stuff within this country, causing this great divide. And now that it's come out that he is no more than a goddamn sellout to this nation, he wants to start this conflict because this impeachment is an inevitable thing. And many people who stood by his side, even that old tramp Mitch McConnell, has finally woken up. Along with the old hag on the Democratic side, Pelosi, she's finally woken up, and she's went on with proceeding with this inquiry into investigating this fool. And more stuff is coming out, not just the Ukrainian thing where he tried to pressure this Ukrainian president while withholding money. So he held this bag over this Ukrainian president's head before releasing it and asked him to do this investigation of one of his political rivals' son, who sits on a board of some oil company. And it comes out that this is a common practice that is done by a lot of these foreign companies who look for Americans, white Americans, to represent their country so that they look favorable when coming to do dealings with other energy customers, I'll say. But so this fool goes about doing this while holding money that was already allocated to this country to pull off some shit like this. But now he done found himself in hot water. This whistleblower done exposed him. The whistleblower, I'm telling y'all, is Melania Trump. When that come out, I'm going to tell you I was right. Just like I've been right about this Trump clown, about his time is up. That's why I've been on him since the day he's been elected, because I can smell a bigot from goddamn Pluto. But this is, let me just get back into what he releases on his page. And this is kind of his escalation of things in which he has kind of escalated, riled up these other, cowardly cornballs or suicidal types that someone's providing them with all these weapons. But he releases this, and we'll read over this. I'll share it on the screen here. And it says, as I learn more and more each day, I'm coming to the conclusion that what is taking place is not an impeachment. It's a coup. So we think this is a coup, as if someone's trying to take over his country. This dude is going delusional. He is in fear of who knows what. I guess prison. He's afraid to drop that soap. He can't fight. So I guess he won't be using soap. He'll just be a stinky mother, you know what. But let's get back into it. So he says, it says, not an impeachment, is it a coup? Intended to take away power of the people, their vote, their freedom, their Second Amendment, that gun talk. He's trying to, these delusional types. So he speaks of their Second Amendment. That's the thing that wakes them up. Oh, they want our guns. So Trump adds that in there. Man, this dude is senile as he is. He knows exactly what he's doing. He says they're trying to take away their freedom, their freedom of religion, military, border wall, and their God-given right as citizens of the United States. And he also goes on Twitter and he says, if the Democrats are successful in removing the president from office, which they will never be, it will cause a civil war-like fracture in this nation from which our country will never heal from. And he's posting this from some Pastor Robert Jeffries. And this is the type of stuff Trump's trying to rile up this base, but this base is beginning to turn on him because they listen to Trump. They were excited and they try to incite a lot of stuff in society. So throughout life, they have sat inside their homes, watching television, believing what they heard because they never walked out the door or down the street or into a city. And now that Trump's come along, the coward himself has riled these folks up to come out and to try to practice what's been indoctrinated to them. And they begin to get a lot of fists in their mouths. So they don't want to go about listening to goddamn Donald Trump and all this bullshit he talks because Trump ain't frontlining shit. He wants other people to bail him out and protect him. And that's kind of what's been going on within this party. What's up, my brother KB? My brother KB up in here. He says, what's up? Man, just going in here cooking on these topics, bro. Was waiting on the homie Gino, seeing if he gonna get up in here with me. But so Trump's been riling up this base and kind of getting them to do his dirty work. And like I was stating, this has been the practice of many leaders where you go through from Mussolini in Italy. He did the same thing, trying to rile up this country, causing these divisions, these hate, while avoiding war. He avoided the conflicts that were going on in that country. Same thing with Hitler. He avoided the conflicts in Germany in World War I. He was no more than a goddamn writer. What action does a writer see? And then I think when they put him on the front line, I even think Mussolini, they fake like they were injured in battle, but I think they went out in the backwoods and probably stabbed themselves. What's happening, sis? But they went back there and probably stabbed themselves to get out of war. They don't want conflict, but they want others to fight these wars. Because somewhere deep in their mind, this is what happened with intelligent types who come up with this way of I don't even know what the word, but manipulate society and where they can gain control because societies are always like sheep because you don't have people who think, who wake up and who really look at the picture. Everybody should have autonomy in the way they think, the way they go about life. But the goal is to take care of people. But these fools go about this conquest. Here go my brother right here. What's happening, Gino? What's going down, bro?
Family? How you feeling?
Wait, let me. Oh, there we go. What's happening, bro?
What's going on, man? Glad to tune in.
Yes, indeed, man. I'm here cooking on this Donald Trump impeachment thing. What's your thoughts on it, man?
Man, they say they can't impeach an active president, so I feel like, if he get reelected, it's going to be the statute of limitations is going to be up and they won't be able to get him. So I think his main thing is really just trying to get reelected so he don't have to go sit and do that time.
Yes, indeed. I think they're gonna press him, man. I think that's why they making this press to get up out of him, and he's setting it up to where the impeachment is inevitable because some more news came out. You know, the Ukrainian thing, him trying to kind of push that president into investigating Joe Biden and all that. Then they come to find out he tried to push the Austrian president into doing this investigation, and now that's been leaked. So internally, everybody's turning on this cat. And I think this put him in pressure situations where this fool trying to rile up his base, talking about if they impeach him, it's going to cause a civil war because of them removing a sitting president. Because, you know, he think he the shit. He think people like him. What's your thoughts on that?
I mean, I think it's like it's a polarity here. You feel me? Because, you know, for the people who are patriotic, you feel me? It don't matter who up there. You feel me? It could be Kermit the Frog up there, and people still gonna stand for the flag, stand for the country. You feel me? That's just who's sitting there right now. And for the Kermit the Frog who in there, you feel me? You like a Tekashi 6ix9ine. You gonna tell niggas to suck your dick? Excuse me, pardon my French if you don't allow that to, you know what I'm saying, be on your channel. But you
can go. You can cook.
You feel me? You got the Tekashi mode on him. You feel me? Where he could just, you know, he feel like he could tell a nigga to suck his dick, and he got people backing him up like the government Treyway. You feel me? But eventually, you know, they gonna put him on stand, and he gonna have to, you feel me, do what he gonna have to do, because you know what's done in the dark always gonna come to light. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's real interesting. It's real interesting how it's gonna play out, because he do got some tough people behind him. He got big bread, long bread, old bread behind him, you know, and it's a lot of the new people that's really trying to get him up out of there. You feel me? So it's kind of like a gift and a curse, because they show you like really what's going on in the world. You know what I'm saying? It's unprecedented. You feel me? He giving it to you raw and uncut. And I like my white people like that. I don't want you to be a closet racist. I want you to just come out and tell me so I know exactly what the fuck I'm dealing with.
Man, I second that. Man, I prefer them to be out there and open. And that's why I always say with folks who, a lot of people get comfortable with those types who wear suits, slick their hair, dress a certain way, and smile on their face. Those are the ones who you have to watch out for, because those are the real racists who you have to watch out for, because they're put in positions of power. They're CEOs, they're the HR representatives. Those are the ones who run your school administration, school boards, who really doing the controls of this, you know, the real institutional ills that kind of really, really target us. So absolutely, I prefer the open bigot. I definitely prefer that. But also, man, when we talk about like his political and money connections, McConnell didn't turn on this dude, and McConnell's always been a dude that is stuck by Trump's side. And his thing was like, man, if it's clear as day. So once it passed the House, when they get it, this dude is done. So we may see the first president impeached. But you got anything else on that before we go to the next one?
I hope we get him impeached, but I think it just depends on how much dirt Donald Trump got on everybody else at the end of the day. You know, because you know how they got rid of Jeff Epstein, you feel me? You know, and brushed that all under the rug. So it just depends on how high it go up, you feel me? You know, it just depends on how high it go up. That's how I feel about it.
Right. Man, let's go over here to this thing with the cop chick. So we got that guilty verdict with her, but that don't mean everything over yet. So I was shocked that they even found her guilty of anything. I thought they was gonna let her walk, but they found her guilty. What are your thoughts on that? And then what do you think the sentence is gonna be for?
All right, so is she guilty of murder or manslaughter?
Man, they charged her with murder.
Okay.
She got hooked up. Yeah.
Was the judge black or white?
Man, the judge is black. Man, I gotta get a photo of her. Man, she cold, man.
They finna slam her. She finna get slammed. She gonna get the book thrown at her. They throwing the book at her.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Absolutely. And then even the folks who represent, I think the prosecution team was a black team. So they did a great job of thoroughly laying out their case. The whole investigation was smooth and on point. Because, you know, you see a lot of times, like even with the Trayvon Martin and the, what was the St. Louis kid?
With the, I can't think of his name.
What was his name?
You talking about out in Ferguson?
Yeah, out in Ferguson. When they let out the case, the prosecution or the state that represented them, they kind of ran that case in hopes of losing it. And it even kind of showed with the way how they went about releasing a verdict, having the city barricading all this, but it was almost set up to where it was no way they was going to convict the cop that killed, I think his name was Marcus Brown in Ferguson, and then Trayvon Martin. They deliberately failed on that. Yeah, they deliberately fell on that case. But here in Dallas, in Texas, which shocked me, they did a thorough investigation and they ran everything to discredit this cop, and they found that this was a real lie when it came down to what was happening with this chick. And there's something built up. I don't know if it was racial or whether or not she had some type of sexual relationship with this dude. But whatever it is, they found that there was some premeditation behind it. And I'm glad that they stuck it to this lady, because it also wakes up to where with the Black representation that stood behind her, stood behind the family with them, it shows that you can come at the system when you approach it the right way and be fearless about it. Go ahead.
Yeah, man, I definitely agree with that. I definitely think that if you do it the right way, you know, the system could possibly work. I think in this case, she didn't cross her T's and dot her I's in order to try to get that murder off. I think that she had a sexual relationship with the man, and she was on some jealous lover stuff. And I think everything connected with the text messages and whatever they found out. I don't know the details of the case. That's all hearsay from what I heard online. So I'd like to do a little more research just to see if that's exactly what they found. But I think she was a jealous lover, you know, and I think they had a weak defense when they tried to go to all the, you know, the residents and ask them, hey, is it easy for you to get it messed up to, you know, where you gotta, you know, make a mistake and walk in somebody else's house. But this man came to the door holding a bowl of ice cream. You know what I'm saying? And when you hold a bowl of ice cream, you basically got two hands or a hand with the spoon. So how is that a threat if you walk into, you know, your house or somebody else's house and somebody got a bowl of ice cream and no, like, you know, threatening weapon, no knife, bag, gun, you know, to make you threaten why you want to kill somebody right away. So I just feel like whatever defense they came up with was going to be a very, very, very weak defense. And it was only going to go off if it was a jury that wasn't going to be his peers. So we lucky that the judge was Black, you know, because it could have went a different way in Dallas. I know Dallas got a history of being kind of racist down there in Texas. So I'm glad this was a win for us right here. But we got to see what happened in the sentencing, though.
Yeah, absolutely. Let me read my sister's comments real quick. So she was responding saying the judge is Black. The judge looked like a mama. She like a regular Black mama, not one of them trying to play into the system. One of the like being like how Kamala Harrison is revealed to everybody, being how she targeted Blacks. This judge she seemed real. She seemed like she a proud Black woman. She also says, I don't know. I have to see it to believe it, believe the sentencing. So that's Kay was saying she don't believe that the sentencing is going to max this lady out, because the lady facing life in prison as well. And then she says, well, I think when she said that she intended to kill him, then that's what messed her up. Absolutely. And also with the fact that how she sit on that stand, she boohoo crying and this and that. But they said when the body was rolled out, they said she showed no emotions on scene. But now she on that stand crying, which is something you can understand. But even in today, which stood out to me, when she gets this guilty verdict, there's no emotion from the chick.
I like how you noticed that. That was a real good catch. You feel me? Because she didn't have no type of emotions when they read that guilty verdict. None whatsoever. She didn't show no remorse, no nothing right now. So it was all an act. Right. And if she had a dog and you don't hear your dog barking, that is weak. It's weak. I really hope they throw the book at this lady. She deserved it. She deserved it. That was a cold-blooded killer. She murdered that man. Simple and plain.
Simple and plain, man. Now, what you think about old Stacey Dash, the grand sellout? She the grand wizards of sellouts, man. Now she done got caught up. She done got in bed with her white dude. She feeling accepted. She thinks she didn't arrive because she didn't turn her back on her people. Now she didn't try to attack the man. She really thought she had privilege. She going to attack the man. Now she got a case. What you got to say about this chick, man?
Hey, she get what she deserved, man. I think that she thought she had a little privilege, a little Oreo privilege. You know what I'm saying? Because some of the Oreos feel like they got a little privilege because they know the right people. But you can't be beside yourself when you're on that Oreo level. You can't never, on the 48 laws of power, what they say, never outshine the master. You feel me? She outshined the master, and they locked the ass up, gave her them silver bracelets, took her right on in there. So let's see if she change up her pace now from here on out and see how she sound now that she's, a criminal.
Man, absolutely, man. I hope they sit her up in there so she can realize, and then she'll start changing her mind. But her words ain't gonna be nothing. She almost like Omarosa in my book, where they just gonna be rejected for life. They're gonna be isolated, and they're gonna deal with this deep down dark depression that they're gonna go to for selling their people out. All for $1. Who knows what it is? But a lot of people be hold for $1. They'll hold themselves for $1. But it's all played out, man. Let me see Jimmy up in here. Remember Jimmy? He says let's wait and see what happens in the end, because things can change in the drop of a dime. So let's hope for the best that she gets a long sentence, but expect the worst. You never know. He says later, Reggie. Hey man, they will tear Dallas apart if they give this woman anything less than 20 years. They're gonna tear that city apart. And I hear they was on kind of ready to go on, riot patrol just based on this verdict. But if they give her something short, like even 10 years is short, man, they're gonna tear that city up. Because we already know she's gonna appeal. They're gonna run that appeals process for as long as they can run it until they're denied. Reopen this case, come with, they're gonna try all type of sucker stuff. But I hope that it sticks. I hope her appeals are denied. And she right up in that mug, because it made no sense for this dude to lose his life, man. Made no sense, man.
She was a jealous lover, That's all it was. She definitely need the book thrown at her, the full life. I mean, they could, they can give her 25 to life, 15 to life, but whatever it is, it just got to have a life on the end of it. That's what I would like to hear. I think that would be justified.
Man, absolutely, man. What else you want to touch on, man? I want to get in kind of on the state of this country, man, the state of the economy. The thing that brings me to that is I was at Walmart the other day, and it brings me to the thought of when I walk around town out here in Vegas, I see all the homeless, a lot of people struggling to get by. I go into the Walmart, and it's late at night, man. I go up in there, and there's not one checker in sight. They didn't add in all this self-checkout stuff, which is a thing that a lot of people have come to accept. And I think I'm bothered by that, because when you come to accept it, this is the replacement of working class type people, the elimination of middle class people, because they're bringing in this technology. Also, while we're in there, so when I'm tripping because I'm trying to find a cashier, I'll wait in a long ass line to avoid that self-checkout. But while I'm in there, you know how they will hire maintenance people or, people that come and clean it. I see a street sweeper moving through the damn store with robotics. So it's just in this technology. I saw those as I go into McDonald's, where when we had that one push back during the Occupy Wall Street type movements about the workers pushing and protesting for the $15 an hour minimum wage standards. And now here come these corporations trying to stick it to the masses by bringing in technology. And I sit there and I always see people accepting, just hopping right into these self-checkout lines without being conscious of what the hell is going on and what state it puts people in. Because middle class is is going out the way. Either you're rich or poor. And what are your thoughts on this, man, the current state of things in this society?
That's a real good topic. And I think that it's a big push on automation. I think ever since like the 50s or 60s when automation first got introduced, there's just been a big push for the manufacturers to look into automation because it makes more money for them at the end of the day. And we all know companies want to make more money, so if they got to, fire a few people, get a few robots in there, they're going to do that to make a mighty dollar. All the way to the point right now where a lot of companies don't even want to hire employees directly. They want to hire them through temp agencies so they don't have to pay the insurances, they don't have to pay the taxes and all that good stuff. They don't have to be liable for them. No investment, no nothing. They can fire them. Companies really don't care about their employees right now. It's like they can fire you at any time. It's at will employment. They have this minimum wage in place because they would pay you less if they could, but it's illegal to. That's why it's a minimum wage. You feel me? And it's basically like these privately owned companies, they still trying to make money in a system where the dollar is falling. Our dollar is about to hyperinflate because of cryptocurrency. And I'm glad you said something about Walmart, because Walmart just invested into a cryptocurrency for the checkout aisles. You feel me? So what they're doing with that is using that technology to boost their crypto, because once the crypto is like a shoe, you feel me, or like a piece of art. So as the art ages or the art becomes more popular or controversial, it raises in value. So that's how cryptos are. It might start off at a penny, but as people start buying into it, the technology get a little more savvy, it starting to hold a little more reputation, it start raising up. Bitcoin is like the staple for it. You feel me? And Bitcoin is outshining the dollar right now because China mines most of the Bitcoins. So they try to make it seem like, Bitcoin is so volatile, don't invest in it, when really it's finna start taking over. You feel me? The cost of a gallon of milk is damn near the same cost as a gallon of gas. You feel me? How is your dollar bag of chips now $2? Everything is doubling. The quarter gum is now 35 or 50 cents right now. Like everything is doubling. Your money's not worth what it used to be anymore. So now it's this cryptocurrency that's about to come in and about to kill our dollar. You know what I'm saying? And I think that these companies already know it. So they're investing in things like automation because they got to save money. They got to save money. They don't want to hire these employees because they don't want to pay the taxes on them. They don't want to pay for their insurances. They don't want to let them invest in the company. It's basically a slave and a slave master. You feel me? Once you become a business owner, you a multi-million-dollar corporation, these is your slaves. You feel me? You would pay them less if you could. You feel me? But it's illegal. That's why the minimum wage is set in place. And instead of hiring them now, we're going to temporarily hire them through companies like Robert Half, you know what I'm saying, Staff Mart, or Rainmaker Staffing, or whatever staffing company, and then we're gonna put these automatic places in, so we don't even have to hire any employees for this automatic line right here. So I think it's just a push, to automate the world, and for companies to make more money. Now on the flip side, it's a free enterprise in America. So I think that like-minded individuals who have a little money need to start investing in things and starting your own company. You feel me? Where you can, start reaping the benefits of how they didn't came up off of stuff in this world. You know what I'm saying? So I'm more along the lines of figuring out what they're doing and do what they do so you can, stay up with the time. So
Man, absolutely, man. Hitting on some great points, man. That's why I like doing this, man. And I want to keep bringing you on with me and other folks on here as well, because we got to have these talks to wake each other up. Because I just look at people, and this is what these corporations and the minds that setting these policies and execute the plans that go about bringing in things like this and doing away with other people. People don't understand the ripple effects of when you start to accept things without thinking. Before you accept anything, there always has to be a question, follow with an answer. And even those answers have to be investigated. And people just aren't seeing it. But when people begin to suffer is when people want to wake up. Because also along the lines with that is throughout all the cities, especially in LA, where the constant complaint is about the cost of living and how people can't afford to live there. Gentrification is almost like mass murder in all great American cities. Is they're moving in certain demographic of people, pricing other folks out, and they're pricing you out by doing away with your jobs. It's already a country that don't manufacture shit because we didn't outsourced it so long ago. And when they bring the products back, it's automated. So they don't need you to go about distributing this stuff. This consumer market has shifted. This service-based consumer market been shifted on you to where they don't need you. They're doing away with this labor, and people have to wake up and begin to see what's really going on. That's why I never, ever knocked when it came down to how you got some people who were sitting on their high horse and they knock people who are on this welfare system. Me, I don't knock that because I understand and I see what's going on. A system or even a country has to take care of its people. And if a country can't provide adequate sources of employment, then what else do you expect for people to do? Pull themselves up by the bootstrap while other folks make billions of dollars while they sit home and shift and trade stocks. At some point, that shit has to end, and people have to start waking up, taking control of this democracy, getting more politically involved in shit, start understanding the economics and the business of this country, man. But there's some ill stuff that's currently going down within this country, and it's dealing with gentrification is another huge one. And that gentrification, the wave of those folks who are coming into a lot of our communities, which used to be predominantly other than what they are, they're shifting in here just through this system of how they're doing away with the gainful employment of other people. Or if they're even employing you, you're doing more work for less pay. What are your thoughts on this, man?
Now, my thing is are we in the country or are we run by a company? Is America or is America a company? That's my question. You know, because if we're working for a company, they're not worried about too much but making the mighty dollar. And right now, it seems like they losing, you know, because it's a lot of changes going on. You know, people don't want to burn oils and all those fossil fuels. It's a big push for this weather thing that's going on. And they got this girl. I can't think of this girl that's pushing this new agenda. She got the little pigtail braids. It looked like an old school Nazi girl with the Nazi memorabilia with the hells. But it's a new girl. She's behind this like weather thing. You know, so what's her name?
You talking about the girl behind the climate change thing?
Behind the climate change thing, she got two pigs, but she reminds me of the propaganda from like the Nazis back in the day, because they used to have the same looking girl with the pigtails. You feel me? So I think it's a lot of things going on that's about to change, because they want to switch to the solar power. They want to switch to the electrical power vehicles and things of that nature. But the big wigs still got all their money involved in the oil companies and the gas companies, you know, because those things are byproducts of gasoline. You feel me? So in this country, it's all about making money. And they definitely don't want to give us the money. And it's probably because we was here already and they kicked us out and they tried to rewrite our history because it's his story. You feel me? Not only is they trying to write us out, but they allow some of these illegal immigrants to come in and to be the skilled labor. Just like I heard on TV recently with Killer Mike and Candace was talking, they were saying that right after slavery, we was the skilled labor force. So we had to be the ones that did all the work. Now these people come in and work for pennies on the dollar. And we don't get those jobs. I'm from Chicago, so I'm used to seeing black people being the cooks in the back or being the street sweepers working for the city outside. But when I came to the East Coast, LA, Vegas, the cooks is Mexicans. You could be at Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles, the cooks are going to be Mexicans. You feel me? When you go outside and they cleaning the streets, they going to be Hispanics because they paying them less. They getting all the jobs that the black folks would have had. You feel me? So it's certain policies that I think we all got to tap into to figure out which ones, you know, we agree with, which ones we don't. We got to educate ourselves and just know exactly where we want to go. You feel me? Because there's a lot of shit going on, You feel me? There's a lot of different pieces that's moving, main pieces. And you might be on both sides. You might like some of the Democratic things, but you might like some of the Republican things too. You feel me? So you just can't push them all out. You feel me? You can't push them all out unless we gonna be independent and have independent parties where we push those people to push our values. But I definitely think we got to get more involved in like grassroots shit here in Vegas or wherever you local at, so you can change things in your area, especially when it comes to getting paid or making sure that your minority gets that percentage of your demographic of minority get that percentage of the workforce or whatever you want to be. You know what I'm saying? If we 33% of the black people in Vegas, then 33% of black people should be working at every company that you go to. Every management should be 33% black. The CEO should be 33%. The workers should be 33%. We all should be that. We should all push for that. And we shouldn't even vote for no politicians that wasn't going to stand up and push the things that we want and that we coming for. So that's what I think, moving forward, it should be a big focus on, because there's a lot of shit going on.
Man, absolutely, man. And that's why I think it's so crucial and so critical to sit down and politic amongst one another. And I think that's one of the things where when people speak on history, and just like when Killer Mike was bringing up that point about the greatest point when America was great was during Reconstruction, after this war and everything, well, we're the labor. And what happened where I think this was lost was we didn't come together to politic, to share and exchange ideals, to create structures. And where a lot of people, I always debunk the fact when people be like, well, white people stole our history. No, they didn't. It's us. We have taken away and locked away a lot of history to where we don't even sit down with young folks to pass on shit, make them sit their little asses down and get an understanding of things, talk to them, prepare and guide them. Because even when it comes to family history, a lot of families can lose their history that doesn't go past 10 years. And it's because folks ain't sitting down, politicking, teaching and educated. How can someone steal that from you? The only way it's stolen from you is when you ain't sitting down doing the proper things of teaching this. And I think this is what happened after the freedom was gained. These people didn't have confidence in themselves to go about defending, protecting. Some people did, like in the Black Wall Street. Those were the smart individuals that put it together. The only thing they lacked is forming their own military to protect themselves. But along with that, what they created was a great society in which they politic, they put together and they work rather than competing amongst each other. Because I think competition amongst people is futile, and that creates a lot of rifts to where things begin to fracture. And I think it's what happened with a lot of blacks that when they left the South, they moved up north or they headed out here west, they begin to think they're better than other folks. They trying to outcompete each other. And that brotherhood and family is fractured, man, because the worst hospitality is here on the West Coast when it comes to anything. But what you got, bro?
I think it's all about that integration, man. Once we integrated and we tried to be on that same level, we kind of pushed ourselves away from, being separate. You feel me? Having a separate military. You feel me? Having separate schools and things like that. Like, you feel me? I think that we shouldn't have really integrated so fast like that. I think it should have been broken in. You feel me? Because even like in countries like, it's this one country in China. It's not Beijing, but it's one of the countries over there. It's got Hong Kong. Yes, Hong Kong. Got a lot of European influence, and they recently had to pull out of there, but they made an agreement where they had to keep the democracy or the politics out there for the next 50 years. So they reigned for 50 years, and now they got to keep the politics there for 50 years. I think it should have been a reconstruction like that, you feel me, where it took place over 100 or 200 years. We were still able to demand certain things for ourselves and put a stamp on it, a stamp of approval, you feel me, or we ain't going for it. Like, okay, we don't agree with this, it ain't right, these living conditions not right, these schools not right, we not going for it, so we could pull back, or have something to say. Because right now, ever since then, we don't have no say-so in absolutely nothing. We just sitting back and letting them run the show, and it's business running the show, so big business get to run it how they want to, because it's all about that dollar.
Let me let's go into the comments real quick, and then we'll respond to this. Then let's touch on that. You were bringing up Takashi, man. I want to hear your thoughts on this fool, man, and what he's doing, man. Let me read this one. This one says, I'm old school. Yes, indeed. So I like more human interactions. But is the maintenance / replacement, etc., of these machines that is taking over taking over these machines? Wait, I'm lost on how I'm reading that. But is it maintenance / replacement of these machines that is taking over cheaper than? I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying now. So,
and I think that it is. I think that it is cheaper, because if the machine breaks, you just buy a new one, or you buy cheap parts. You got to pay an employee every single day, no matter what.
Right.
And you might as well say you're paying them double. So if it's $14 an hour, it's really about $30 an hour, because you're doing the insurance. You're paying for unemployment insurance, medical, dental, vision, all of that good stuff, benefits. So really, 20 and that machine could do the job of 20 employees.
Exactly.
So 20 times 30 an hour, that's a lot of money. So they definitely save money, I think, right there.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, because they especially in the food chain industry, man, they kind of watch every margin. They watch the profits for everything, and they make sure they reduce unnecessary costs. And right now, they're looking at human costs as being unnecessary. And like you said, these machines will do the job of 20 people, if not more. So they definitely saving money on these machines. And the only way they saving money is because people are going in there using it. You can make them lose money. That's just like, it was that one chain store that first started that. It was a green store where they sold all that organic stuff, Fresh and Easy or something like that. Okay. They started that.
Okay.
And they lose out, because you go in there and be like, nobody working. You barely see employees. Wow. And it failed because I don't think people were accepting of using that. Kind of the customer base was an older customer base, and they wouldn't accept that. They wouldn't accept the technology. They want to interact with, they want to interact with people, because some people like to have a conversation with the clerk and this and that. And that doomed Fresh and Easy. Walmart gradually admitted it. Their shopper base is much younger. It's working as of now, but I still see some people using the cashier, but more people have to start going about accepting your cashier, being the one that check you out, not being in a rush, because you're accepting these machines. Pretty soon you'll see no one in there. And those are many jobs lost, a lot of food not being put on the table.
That's a good protest.
Yes, absolutely, man. Because the situation is dire, man. And these Wall Street types can give two shits, because they living behind some guard-gated shit, and they don't drive through these communities, and they don't eat out of them.
Absolutely. At all.
Absolutely. And then let me see. This last one says, not trying to be a Debbie Downer, but black folks always talking about what they should have done, but never put it in work. Our efforts for our own people to make it happen. Black folks spend their black dollars to support and feed every other racist children and families, all while they hate and mistreat. All while those same people hate and mistreat us. Absolutely, man. Absolutely. And it's funny, man, I'll be tripping about this fact right here about how we spend our money with other folks. Because in LA, growing up in like the late 80s, early 90s, and it's funny about when I was speaking about history, I never knew what the hell Africa was. I learned what Africa was. That's why I always showed Latasha Harling, because of her situation. She was killed by that store owner. Her same experience of going in their stores and dealing with the confrontation, them not trusting you. You walk over here, they following you. You walk over here, they following you. And we be tripping, but I had a little badass brother. So every time we go in the store and they follow him, he clowning and talking shit about them being kung fu and all this shit and throwing shit over and stuff. So we dealing with this, but they be like, go back to Africa. Are you monkey? This and that. Like, I'm tripping. Like, what the fuck is Africa? I never heard of this, but it was a constant thing to where we in here spending money with them, mistreating us, following us around, it was a lot of feudal stuff when they start in the early 90s, late 80s, early 90s, to where a lot of these owners, these store owners are being killed by folks going in and robbing them. But the relationship was just so bad. And when that lady killed that young baby, Latasha Harlan, it set the city on fire along with the Rodney King thing. But it's crazy about how Kay was saying, we're so quick to spend our money with other folks. When we patronize our own business, we tripping about what they're charging us. And they may not even be charging us any different than what someone else is charging us. But I think I don't know what's internally that burns. And I'm glad I'm not like that, but internally that burns inside of some folks, that they refuse to spend money with their own brother, always looking out for a discount or whatnot.
I think one thing Black folks need to focus on is the education to entertainment ratio that they invest their time on. Because I feel like we just invest our time in more entertainment, from sports to going out to kicking it, to looking at love and hip hop, you feel me? Stuff like that. I feel like we don't even focus on education enough. And I don't mean like education as far as like mathematics and stuff like that. I mean issues like we talking about right now, things like that, and things that's just important to you. You feel me? That you want to learn about, whether it's a skill set, whether it's a hobby or something, anything to grow. You feel me? To grow and develop. I think that Black folks need to focus a little more on that and less on fashion and entertainment, sports, and all of that. I think it should be a real big push on that, because kids grow up and they feel like they want to be rappers or actors or entertainers, which is all entertainment. You feel me? Sports, entertainment. That's just what it seemed like we focused on mostly, to put on a show. You feel me? And I feel like it need to be more focused on education if we want to change up some of these policies, because knowledge is power. You feel me? Entertainment ain't power.
Absolutely. I agree with you 1,000,000,000% on that one. I can't even add nothing else to it. Like the homie KB said, real talk. Absolutely. Education, man. Education has to be the primary focus, man. And nothing I can't stand more is to when I see children outside playing on a school week. I hate that shit. These kids need to be in there getting a little bit of time of being educated, watching, and even what they watch on TV, because it's food to the brain. So you got to watch what you're feeding into the souls of these young kids, because all TV ain't just TV. It's programming that's going on with this television. And you have to be mindful of what is being fed into your kids, because when they're being indoctrinated by this stuff and they believe what's true, this where this cognitive dissonance shit begins to grow in a lot of folks, to where they're seeing certain things, you're programming a certain way, and they reach this point in adulthood where they find out everything they thought was real is wrong and is wrong as hell. And now they're at conflict of accepting the truth, but they want to buy into what they've been fed and to believe. And that's the problem. Even like what you're saying with love and hip hop, in the way that it transformed a lot of young girls and to behave in a certain way, think in a certain way. Even the young dudes with the music they listen to, they grow, they behave, and they carry out through life a certain way until they reach a point to where they find out all that entertainment shit ain't real, and it's hard for them to break away and transition into what's real, because they've been programmed and led to believe a certain way of life. And it's crazy, man. But I think as parents, we got to get up on this shit.
Hell yeah. And then, it's a struggle, because ignorance is bliss. You feel me? So some people, they don't even want to know nothing else, because they want to live in their own truth. Perception is reality. So if you perceiving that bullshit, that's what you're going to live. That's what it's going to be. That's going to be your reality. Some people want to keep that reality because that ignorance is blissful to them. It's a thrill for them and make them feel good.
Absolutely. And the sister, she says, unfortunately, Black folks' mindsets are dysfunctional, especially when it comes to uniting and making things happen with each other. Therefore, how will there ever be a solution to our issues? Through politicking, talking it out, gaining an understanding. I think that's really what it comes down to, is really having an understanding of what goes down. Even when it comes to the situations we live in. A lot of people get broken by the situations that we come from, that we live in, and we begin to look down on other folks rather than understanding the situation, educating and uplifting a lot of folks. Because even I'll speak for my own life in general sense, like even with my biological mother, her coming through that drug struggle and dealing with this and that, and not really raising me. But when it came down to meeting her, form a relationship with her, it wasn't me having this angry posture with her. You abandoned me, none of that. No, I understand the real issues because my train of thinking, and I know what she probably done been through. You know how life brought her down. Even when it comes to my biology, I ain't never met the dude, but if it was to come to meet him, there will be no ill feeling because I have to have an understanding of what turned this person into the individual he became, but not to give an excuse for others to do that. But we have to have an understanding and to be able to sit down and work with folks. And then even working with the younger folks, it really starts at the bottom level. A lot of people letting these young kids go throughout life and they're dealing in circumstances where they may come from a drug addicted parent, whatnot, and not guide themselves through life. But lucky I came through, my mom, who was my mom to me, thugged it out with me and my brother to raise us right. My brother ain't turned out the best, but we came up right. We came up the right way. And that's why I got to understand in life, and even from the environment to where I begin to understand, but we just so caught up in the mix and moving too fast without slowing down and gaining this understanding. Because I think the worst thing that I see, because there's so much potential in us, and I hate to see for folks to have to be incarcerated for them to truly blossom. When they sat away and behind these cells, you begin to see the true talents of these individuals. And it's so bad that it took for a lot of their lives to be lost for them to begin to find an understanding of themselves and become the true deep individuals that they are. But what you got, bro?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. But I feel like that's a direction that they, steer people in, when they privatize prisons, to make money. Once again, that's how you end up populating them with the demographic that it's populated with. I got a buddy that worked for Aladdin bail bondsman, and I told him, I was like, I bet you at least 66% of your calls is for black folks. And he was like, you absolutely right. 66% of the calls for the bonds is black folks, because the majority of people they putting in these private prisons is black folks. So it's like they steering you down a wrong direction anyway. If you ain't gonna put your life on the line, go to the military. If you ain't gonna entertain, you finna lead your ass right on down this other direction. You feel me? You're gonna have to be a slave to something. You feel me? And once we break the chains, and mentally, with knowledge, you could break the chains from everything else. But without the chains being broke, you're just gonna be a slave to something. It's a lot of different chains that's attached. And you got to try to break them off one by one. It's an uphill battle that our people need to take. You feel me? And I feel like it's definitely an uphill battle, and it ain't gonna be easy, because a lot of these kids don't like to learn. They listen to the programming that's going on, and they don't want to learn none of the like educational stuff. That's why the music how it is now. Back in the day, the hip hop used to be kind of educational, bro. You feel me? Now that shit is not educational at all. You're not learning shit. You know what I'm saying? You're not learning about no religion. You're not learning about no politics. You're not learning about absolutely nothing. You feel me? It's a whole different change in the programming, even for us. How we allow the big wigs, the companies, to push the agenda now when they even come to our music. So, I feel like we got to change up a few things. One thing we got to change up is the term nigga. Like, white people got a term of trailer trash. The rich people don't want to be referred to as trailer trash. When you elite, you don't want to be looked at as trailer trash. So that name sits by itself. But a nigga could be a doctor. A real nigga could be a football player, a firefighter. A real nigga could be the nigga on the street killing niggas. Like, we don't have a term that separates us. So, it get kind of confusing even with the lingo and the vernacular that we using, when we growing up. So the programming is still like, it's a chain. Even the language we using is a chain that we got to break. You feel me?
Man, absolutely, absolutely. And then my sister, she got another comment. And then let me see respond to this one. She says talking hasn't and isn't doing ish. Action speaks louder than words. Remember, we have to want to do better in order to do better. The issue is not necessarily coming or being dysfunctional, but wanting to stay in dysfunction, not wanting to change for the better because dysfunction is their norm. Absolutely. And that's what we're speaking on too. What you got to say on that one?
Yeah, I agree, man. You know, we just gotta we gotta build, man. Like we just gotta make it a point to build, you know, and bring on more people to build. It's gotta be creative, you know, a creative build. Because if you don't build, it's gonna get destroyed. You know what I'm saying? So we gotta build.
Yes, indeed. And then, man, before we get out of here, man, what are your thoughts with this Takashi kid, man? And what is he doing, man? What are your thoughts and views on that, man? It's a good lesson for a lot of these young kids to learn from what this cat is doing as well.
You know what? All of this stuff that's coming out is making me think differently. Because originally I thought that he just was ratting. You feel me? But then come to find out, they already had these wiretaps and videos of everything already. So in retrospect, it do look like he's ratting to get out. But at the same token, these people was about to kill him. They said on wiretap they was finna kill him. You feel me? They heard it. They did. I think that Buddy had sex with his girl, threatened to kill his mom. You know what I'm saying? Did all this wild stuff. The other dude, Harv, you feel me, was supposed to you know, be his manager, but Buddy chose Shotty over Harv. So that brought some internal beef within Treyway. So I feel like this Mexican boy exposed the holes within the street gang culture over there in New York, because they allowed this dude just for some money to come on in there and poke holes in y'all stuff. But at the same time, how did he poke holes in it if there was already holes in there? Because they had somebody's an informant. It's a whole nother informant they not even telling you about that was able to tell you which people to put on for an informant. He gonna trick because he a Mexican, he illegal. So go ahead and put him down with it too. So it's somebody else. And I don't know if it's Jim Jones, you feel me? Because he got caught with a whole bunch of guns in Atlanta, I think a few years ago, and he got dead off for it. I don't know who it is, but Jim Jones was on wiretap saying wild shit. So I don't know, man. And Shotty took his 15 years real quick. So it's like he didn't even fight that shit. He just took his time and got out of there. He like 15. I probably got to do 10 of that 15, maybe 9 if I got a good time. I'm gonna walk away with whatever money I got. I'm good. I'm out of there. You feel me? So I don't know. I really don't know exactly who's snitching and who's not. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like Tekashi had to do what he had to do. He wasn't built for that. He's not a street dude. He didn't put in work with him. And at the end of the day, they was finna do some wild shit to him, talking this crazy talk, extorting him, robbed him, went in his house, did wild shit in front of his kids, took his jewelry. So it wasn't no loyalty. It ain't no honor amongst thieves. You feel me? Them dudes wasn't brothers. That wasn't a brotherhood. You feel me? So it ain't no honor amongst thieves. So he was a rat. So I don't even... It is what it is. The streets can look at it how they want to, but I think it's going to be a real good movie that 50 already put his bread down on. It's going to be a real good movie because dude is like the Joker. I look at Tekashi like the little kid Joker of the game. You know what I'm saying? Because he came in, looked totally wild, different, said he was going to blow up. People were like, no, you look weird. And every time he dropped, he was 10 for 10 with all this big shit, going crazy, selling out shows, selling out arenas. And if this dude get out, like he say he gonna get out again, his interviews is gonna do them numbers. Everything he touches is gonna do all the numbers because it's such an interesting story. You feel me? And he just really poked holes in the street culture for the New York Bloods or whatever, you know, organization is going in over there. And it kind of reminds me of some shit that, you know, goes on in the streets anyway, where, you know, they'll send somebody to the gangs and be like, yo, I'm gonna give you this money, go ahead and just tear the hood up. I'm gonna give you all these guns and just go crazy. I'm gonna do this and y'all just do this. It just shows what people would do for money. You You know what I'm saying?
Damn, man, you opened me to a whole lot of insight because I just been hearing he's been snitching, but this opens a lot to the window. But what I didn't even know Jim Jones was.
I could play wiretaps. Matter of fact, listen, man, if you want me to, I could play the actual wiretaps right now.
Yeah, go ahead and play it.
Let me go ahead and pull the wiretaps up. Let's go ahead and get Jim Jones on wiretap first.
Yeah, pull that one up, man.
Now, Jim Jones is talking to Mel Matrix, and Mel Matrix is from the Bird Gang. Bird Gang was you get the Bird Gang, pull up this little CD from back in the day, and it's like Jim Jones, Max B, Mel, and that's who's on the wiretap right now. It's actually two of them with Mel. So Mel's phone definitely had to be the one that was tapped.
He definitely humiliating Shadi right now, bro.
Well, you got the picture up there next to the post. You know, like when you go to YouTube and World Star, you got his picture next to this shit. And everything he say, you got a split screen with Shadi picture next to this shit. Shit, this shit crazy stuff. But he's doing that to make K9 think he don't got a relationship with boy. That's what he's trying to do. He's trying to shut this shit.
That's cool, but now you gotta get violated.
Yeah, super violated. Super duper. So ain't too much he can really do unless he gonna go run around with 100 armed securities all day. You know what I'm saying? He gonna get shot at pay.
He ain't getting enough money for that.
That's a fact. And he just canceled all the shows.
And he ain't a gang member no more.
Nah, ain't nothing.
That's what Shadi needs to make sure he do.
Nah,
tell that nigga that he's not a gang member no more. He kicked out the whip. He was never a gang member. Nigga, Shadi need to expose him. Like,
nah, it's supposed to be do. He got TMZ on the talk to niggas on Monday. Shadi like, you want me? Quippy. I think he said,
you don't need to be on no TMZ. Let Shadi be on TMZ.
I'm not gonna get on it, but he wanted me to talk to nigga and tell him what happened. Like, cause you know, my last first, you feel me? So he want.
You don't say nothing. You let Shadi handle that shit, bro. You don't say nothing.
So don't say nothing.
Nah, Shadi gotta handle that shit. He get on TMZ. He need to talk his talk and he talk his shit. You dig?
Mm-hmm.
And he need to be very, very, very articulate about what he's saying, why he made people think that nigga was a gang member. He needs to let niggas know that he was never a gang member. He was always a money ploy for the gang members. He got to figure it out. But they gonna have to violate Shorty, because Shorty on some bullshit. Shorty think he gonna be going to the strip clubs and all that type of shit. Like, Shorty better get on his A game.
I already know, Shorty, you know that nigga's a demon, homie. You know that shit like this, homie. He gonna treat that nigga like he was doing Chinese shit up. He gonna be violating that nigga shit up. He got nothing to do no more. This is all he had.
He better get to violating. He better stalk Shorty every move. One of them security better get hit. Something better happen.
Nigga better stop marbles, nigga.
He better start doing something. Once he start tearing the security down, ain't no security gonna want that job. He gonna have to stay in the house pretty soon. That's it. That's what happens once security get injured. Them niggas like, nah, he's too much of a liability. I'm not gonna protect nobody that I know that is causing harm to us. And that's all these niggas gotta say. Well, Shadi let niggas know, man, bro, we gonna tear the security up, bro. We not even worried about you, bro. You ain't even, we gonna tear the security up. As niggas start doing that, the security gonna be like, listen, bro, I ain't in it for this, bro. You gonna have to do this shit on your own time, bro.
You can't. The security out in New York can't run around with fire on them, right?
Nah, them niggas, or unless they ex-police, but it don't matter at that time because they doing an illegal job. You dig? It don't matter because the shot ain't run down, they can't pull their gun out to shoot nobody unless the gun is pulled out.
Shame.
Yeah, so
yo, what's up, man?
wait, quick
Let me pause this one real quick. So that one was Mel and Jim Jones. Now this one is a Mel Murder and Shotty talking.
Wait, so the feds done tapped in on them, or somebody wearing something?
Nah, the feds had Mel phone tapped. Had to be, because there's another phone call of Mel Murder talking to Shotty.
Bosco 100 daily.
Shit, fucking mall. Trying to get some peace in my fucking phone. Me in my car.
Trying to do what?
Trying to get peace in my car. I'm using.
Yo, I seen this nigga. I seen that interview this morning. That man is crazy, man. I know nigga is wild crazy, blood. Woke up this morning, blood. You about to be sleeping. I woke up. I seen that shit, blood. I said, oh man, son. I said, why is this kid doing this, man? Why is this kid like who's in this kid's ass, right? Like who's like they get him talking, fucking
nobody.
Blood, the nigga gotta be on drugs. Remember the nigga said fuck Treyway? He said fuck Treyway, bum ass nigga, ass nigga. Huh?
Hello? What you got?
He said fuck Treyway. Niggas some bum ass niggas. Niggas is dirty niggas is thieves. Like, ain't no Treyway. Like, ain't no more Treyway, nigga. Like, I made that shit. What? Like, yo, what the fuck? Like, I said, I gotta call this nigga. Hey, man, I need some type of, like, this kid is crazy, homie. Like, Shorty already lost him, homie. I don't know what kind of pills he taking.
Bosco 100 daily.
You know, what he on scrap? But the kid losing there, homie.
He gonna give us something.
He being real disrespectful, homie. Like,
Right.
my niggas done. My nigga took their soul out and put it on a hanger and hung it up in the closet, you son. What are you talking about? You fuck with it, boy. That's how you feel? Like, you don't even feel like you could put up on niggas and have a conversation? You gonna go social media with him?
Yeah, he gonna do even it's not coming, bro. I
feel kind of depressed right now. I feel like so what a nigga go like, homie, wait, homie, I ain't with you, dog, giving God take away.
Son, nobody can't take none away the power. Yo, boy, he
don't have to take the Treyway shit, but a nigga assassinated the branch, right?
He could assassinate all he wanted. I ain't say nothing yet, bro. Like, I'm gonna get all the say so, Scott. Some niggas like Powell wants on waiting to see everything he got to say. He let that shit go, and that's it.
You know what I'm saying? Say what?
Yeah, what he got to say, and then I'm gonna start firing on everything like that. I got all the good, man. Like, come on, bro.
Yeah, man. Well, make sure you call me for activities and festivals.
Yeah, that's Monday. We gonna on Monday. TMZ already got they got some shit set up. So Monday they gonna film. So man, everybody, me, you, Crippy, homies, everybody on camera, we in the room smoking regular shit. Like, you know,
Bosco 100 daily.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm coming. I'm gonna be there for that. I feel obliged for this meeting. I don't know who this kid that he's talking to. You ain't created Treyway, we created you. You was a virtually, and we put a muzzle on you, and we showed you how to be a dog, nigga. You was a mutt. You don't know nothing about this life that you perpetrated. But you know, come on, Scott, we made you who you was, so you could help us in our situation, nigga. Block it out. Don't try to act like it wasn't an even exchange. We gave you life, and you introduced us to the bag more than what we was. Nigga, that's it, nigga. But you ain't make Treyway scrap. We made you. You want to be shit without Treyway. Matter of fact, you better be able to handle all that drama you been caused too. We good out here in these streets, nigga. What about you? Right. You nigga, like you talking and then you dry snitching, you smoke. I knew my team was strong. So what I'm trying to say is, that's why I was acting the way I was acting. That's why I was trolling the shit I was trolling. I knew my team was strong. He like, but you know, at the end of the day, I knew when I got, it had to be niggas around me. Because my team was too strong for niggas to be outside. Like basically, like he dry snitching, bro. I'm like, yo, shut this nigga. Always locked up. You what you saying on camera?
Right. You know what he's doing.
Yeah, he's trying to dry snitch.
You know what he's doing. You know he's trying to do.
My niggas threatening his family, telling the people where he live at. Like if he don't want to do the shows, the promoters is telling him where he live at, to try to get people to do something to his moms, homie.
He said all that?
Bro, that's the all on team release, bro. I said this kid is crazy, son. And then remember when me and you was 212 and you just told me the other day, like, yes, about the paper, about refraining from 12 with the boy. So I'm like, oh, boy playing, like, this is what he trying to do. Boy playing dirty, man. He trying to dry snitch at the same time, homie. But he keeps saying, fuck Treyway, fuck that nigga Treyway, fuck Treyway, ain't no Treyway, fuck Treyway.
I'm gonna feed him. They got the fucking shit right there.
Yo, bro, we got, I don't want to choke that phone, homie. We gotta meet up and choke.
I'll tell you, I'm gonna pull up on you.
All right.
Yo, I gotta go Philly. You want with me?
I'll go with you, nigga. I don't give a fuck.
I'm come get you. As soon as I leave here, I'm coming straight to Brooklyn and get you.
Now, they got those audios from different phones, right? Then 6ix9ine's driver is a confidential informant where they got the video footage of him getting robbed, audio and video. They got 3 different angles. They got like a back angle, 2 side angles with HD cameras. I'm talking about 4K to 8K HD cameras. It looked like some cameras they use for, recording video footage in like bait car. You know what I'm saying? Dude had a whole bait car set up. You know what I'm saying? So with all of this set up, while Tekashi is in there, he don't know what's going on. You feel me? He don't know that this is going on being recorded. I don't know. I don't know if, people could call him a snitch. They gonna call him a snitch. He gonna go down as the biggest snitch in the history of snitches. But when he get out, I think he gonna have a good story on his hands, and he might be able to spin his story to say like, yo, they made me do this in order to get out. It's like, am I gonna stay locked up for 20 years with some dudes who was gonna try to kill me in jail? Like I was gonna be with them for 20 years, locked up with them for 20 years. You think I'm gonna let them kill me? They said they was gonna kill me. You feel me? Or I'm gonna get out next year. You feel me? Just by saying the shit they already had video and audio footage on before I even came around. You feel me? Then you got to wonder who else is the confidential informant that's giving these dudes the information to set the calls and the wiretaps and shit up on Treyway before Tekashi was even bumping like that. Because they had to set this shit up before he was blowing up like that. So who's there?
Right, man. It's some wild stuff, man. But I think he gonna get out. He gonna be just like how Alpo was.
They already said he's getting out by January. They already said it. He's supposed to be getting out by January.
Yeah, he gonna carry on with his life. Like the what's the cat from that's Alpo, right? Because they show video of him after he done snitched on everybody and murdered everybody, and he living a cool life out there on the streets.
I think you're right. It's one of them dudes. He out right now, and I think he talking. He be on some YouTube videos talking about all the hits he did in New York back in the day. Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about, but he definitely out. He talked about killing Rich Porter. It was one of them dudes. I think he killed Richie Porter.
Yeah, that's him. That's what I'm talking about. And it's like he done told and did all this, and he get out, ain't nobody touching him. That same thing gonna be with him. But you told me a lot that I didn't know when it came. I just was hearing everybody talking about Tekashi, all the memes about him being a rat and this and that. I didn't know all this information was being recorded and tapped into, like. And then I heard the Jim Jones thing. Like, so it's so many people caught up in this.
Jones not going down.
Right.
Why is he not implicated in none of this if they got this wiretap? And why is all this information being leaked if all is supposed to be confidential? They don't want no video footage, none of that. All this information out there. Boom.
Right. Yeah, that shit crazy. But yeah, man, that's all I got, man. You got anything else? We're gonna have to do this more often, man.
Yeah, we could definitely do it more often, man, because I got a lot of things, man. I got a few things we could definitely talk about. You brought that Alpo thing up. Dude is on video. Dude is on the recording talking about killing Rich Porter, like telling the whole details on how he did it and everything.
Right. And he get out. Like, he was an informant. I think he was an informant, man. He had to be.
Yeah, because how is he talking about this and admitting to it? You know what I'm saying? Like, it gives you the full details on everything.
Yeah, I think I heard that one. I listened to that because I was following his case for like his whole story, and then I seen video of him walking out there on the streets of New York. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah, I'm gonna send it to you if you ain't see it. I'm gonna definitely send it to you. But man, it get deep. It's some little twists and turns in there. So as I come up with some stuff, I'm gonna shoot it to you. And we definitely got to do this, man. I'm down to do it as often as you can. Straight up, I gotta build my little YouTube up. You feel me?
Yeah. In this same StreamYard, you can do your live YouTubes and stuff. You seen that?
I don't know how to link them, but I think I linked everything. I'm not sure if it is working because it's the first time I did it. But I sat back and I linked up the YouTube to the Periscope and my Facebook.
All right. Yeah, matter of fact, I'm gonna end this one so we can talk about it behind the scenes. So that's all we got, folks. We'll catch you guys in the next one.
Yes, sir. Bless.
Yeah, no, don't go nowhere.